with the NAACP to do voter registration during spring break. It was an alternative to spring break, an alternative to partying, and you guys went out there and did that amongst some other things. Good to have you here, Jasmine.
Nice to be here. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, we remember you. We all remember you really well
Yeah.
from that conversation because you were so articulate and you spoke with such heart about the things that you were involved in,
Thank
not
you.
just out there in Ferguson, but other places. But since we're mentioning Ferguson, what were some of the things that you guys did with NAACP where you were out there?
Okay, so we were a part of the Atlanta chapter in NAACP through Clarkland University, and we went out there with Alternative Spring Break. It's an actual organization that's been going for about 5 years. So they have Alternative Spring Break every year where students can join and just go serve in the community. So this year was Ferguson because everything that happened last year. So our goal was to do voter registration. Now, when we went out there, we did everything plus voter registration. So we did community cleanups, we did voter registration, we did rallies, we went to some of the town hall meetings. So it was a lot of things we did. We were there for 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a lot of students would give up their spring break for that. So that's what, we were.
Oh, Miami.
We enjoyed. Were you supposed to
No,
go to
I'm just
Miami?
kidding.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a choice for me. As soon as I heard about the trip, I was like, I'm there.
Well, you are a young person that from just speaking to you, I know has a heart for service, a heart for the community. Tell everybody real quick a little bit about what you're doing here in Atlanta.
Okay. Well, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So my upbringing was the worst of the worst, but the best of the best. I had beautiful support, but went through everything you can imagine. So I initially came to Atlanta for school. And when I got out here, I saw that Atlanta was like Detroit. Because when you live in Detroit, it's so close-minded. You think Detroit is just the only place that's like that. And then my school's in the SWAT. So I'm like, oh my God, this is another Detroit. How can I help? Like I helped at home. So out here, I'm just involved in a lot of community empowerment initiatives, and I'll use empowerment a lot because I want to raise up the youth of our community. I want to inspire them. So I'm an avid Big Brothers Big Sisters member. I've worked at Boys and Girls Club. I've started a lot of startup programs just to help youth in artistic expression.
And tell us about where you go to school because you kind of hopped over that.
Okay. I attend Clarkland University.
And you're graduating when?
May 18th.
Not long.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll be graduating May 18th with a bachelor's in arts, mass media arts, public relations management. Yeah.
And you're excited?
I'm so excited.
So have you enjoyed your time here in Atlanta?
I've loved my time here. I have loved it. I'm not going back home. This is home now.
This is home
This
now.
is home. This is
All
where
right,
my heart
Jack.
is.
We're going to put it to work. So you mentioned being involved in a lot of different organizations and activities here. What have you enjoyed most that you've been involved in?
I think the most fulfillment I've ever experienced in Atlanta is when I worked at the Boys and Girls Club America over in Thomasville. So if anyone knows of that area and the Four Seasons area in general, it's the most overpopulated but poverty area in America right now. And I never knew that. I just found that statistic last week because I'm like, okay, well, I've seen areas like this a lot, but I would have never known, like in Atlanta, over in Thomasville, it was the worst. So I met a 5-year-old named Shaquila, and she just latched onto me. And I'm like, okay, Shaquila, we got to keep it professional. Like, I'm not your big sister. And then I learned about her family, and I spoke with them. They told me I could share this. Her mom was young when she had her. Her grandma was about the age I thought her mom was. So that shows you how young they were. And
Welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta. And Shaquila would come to the program at 7 o'clock in the morning. We didn't start till 9. And she wouldn't leave until 8 o'clock at night. We ended at 6. And I would be her buddy, but she didn't have anywhere to go. She didn't even live with her mom. She lived with a friend's family in Four Seasons. But her mom came to the location every day. Came to the cookouts, came to locations every day. We met her. And never knew because Shaquila thought she had to be so strong she couldn't tell anybody.
Let me ask you this: with you having such a vast experience with just different nonprofits and different organizations, have you ever been in a situation or been given an assignment and you feel as if maybe that assignment may not be the best for that particular situation?
Oh, of course. So when I was 14, I did Big Brothers Big Sisters Michigan, and I did a pilot program for teen mentors. It was called Learn and Serve, and they placed us in a church. The program itself only had 25 students, and these students went to a charter school. And the mission of our organization was to help urban youth who did not receive the help from home. These students went to a private school, paid for
Wow.
their school, had memberships to the YMCA, and that's
Yeah.
not big, but I never paid for a membership to
Yeah.
the YMCA.
Yeah.
So I had to talk to the chapter back in Jackson, like, why are we helping them? Not that they don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
I believe any youth needs help, but this was not our demographic,
Yeah.
and you're using us as figureheads for something that we're not being true to the mission. So I stopped. And that was like the worst thing for me because I was so excited to help and I love that I started it, but I didn't feel like my contributions were aimed for those people.
You know, I was feeding the hungry not too long ago, and I had that same like thought process. Cause in my mind, I'm just like, you know, we feeding the hungry once every 3 months, but then after a while, like, in my mind, I want to think that okay, we did this last month. Like, what else can be done? And then, do these people really need food? Cause it seems like she need some work clothes, and he need
so
a
she can go
resume,
get a job.
and I think he just need a haircut. So I think that in society, I think we have certain things that we do because some people come out, they feed the hungry for, you know, photo opportunities. And I've seen people come out, take some pictures, and then leave. And then I think of big name organizations. Like I spoke to the guy at the president of NAACP. What's his name?
We had him here. I can't think of his name right now.
Of Atlanta chapter?
Yeah.
He was
Richard
here.
Rose.
Yeah, Richard Rose.
Yes,
Great guy, great guy. But then I was just inquiring about like in Ferguson, do we really need people voting? Like,
We did. Because me and my best friend, on the way down there, we're like, voter registration, we don't know anything about their politics. How can we entice them to vote? But what we did in 3 days of voter registration, we doubled what they did in 3 months of voter registration because everyone knew we were going to come there and everyone actually wanted to vote. So it was necessary because since then they've elected the first black officials in Ferguson ever. And
You know,
it's 2 of them.
and I feel like we can have a real conversation because I saw some of the first blacks from Ferguson, and like every time they kill a black person, you know who is standing beside the police who shot them? The black dude. It's
person,
like
black
even
officer.
with any cases taken, me like I'm okay with, you know, analyzing or acknowledging what you're giving to me, but I've just learned like over time that literally the first thing that you give me literally is probably some BS. You see what I'm saying? So I have to listen with another eye. I have to see with a different eye in order to see what's really taking place because it just so happened that this place had no. I guess they didn't have a lot of African American officers on staff.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but during the press conference, that's all I see.
Everyone
I would have
they
thought this
could
was the
pull
DeKalb
up.
County, the way like, and so when I started thinking about Ferguson, I'm thinking about voting. Who are we actually voting for? And even if that person is of color, even if that person says that they have our best interests at heart, when they get in office as what's the black Jesus Christ, Obama.
Black Jesus Christ.
What has he done for our people since and I voted. I was in line with the white. I ate the Chick-fil-A biscuit.
But did you vote
I
for
got
him
the
'cause he was
stick.
black?
Yeah, I did. That's all it took for me. That's all it took.
See,
And
All right, pause. All right, you got a couple different conversations going on.
Okay.
All right, let's pull it back for a second. Your main question was, whenever we're
She answered it. I just wanted to get off.
I just want to. That's
Exactly what
that's why I said pause. Okay, so she answered your question. All right,
I got
Dainhen
off.
Butler is on today. All right, back to
You're doing a good job.
your
Thank
nonprofit.
you.
She is. She has her own nonprofit as well. Tell them about your nonprofit organization.
Alrighty, so it's official. I will be starting my nonprofit, and it's called the Juice Foundation. Juice is an acronym. It came from my school nickname, Juicy. So Juice stands for Joint Uplift and Community Empowerment. And it's going to be nationwide, fingers crossed, internationally spread after grad school once I get my graduate degree. And it's just going to be me creating networking opportunities or outlets for children to be able to express themselves artistically. And I always say artistically, whether that be mass media, whether that be visually, graphically, mathematically, any type of expression that can be visually interpreted and cannot be told. I always say cannot be told because there's never one story. And what comes from my heart, you will never be able to read or see unless I share it with you. So I want the youth to be able to have some type of different outlets so that they can basically share their imagination and change perceptions.
I got somebody I got to connect you with. A good friend of mine works out at the Tupac Center, and they're looking for programs.
He's my idol.
like that. They got an amazing
that still
space
open?
out there.
In Stone Mountain, right?
There's some stuff that they're working on. The board is still hoping to keep it open. Yeah. So they're just working on some structural things out there. So it's more
You
or
know what?
less
I know
needing
where I was
people
going.
who have a heart to go out there and do good work at the center. Yes.
I know where I was going with all that gibberish.
Okay.
If after I was saying all that, I was going to ask you if there was one thing that you could do, if you had the financial backing to, go into a community and do something that needed to take place, not what somebody told you to do, not what the grant dictated that you do, but something that you had the free will to do. What would it be and why?
I think that I would create a series of workshops for something that you touched on, like resume building, time management skills. I never had formal teaching until I started working. So at my job, they expected me to already come equipped with that, but because of I had it, but the lack of resources that I had to get me there, I know I could have been 10 times better. And not so much like just urban youth, but that's nothing that is being taught anymore. It's just a skill building thing. And people don't have the resources to establish the skills, to build on them. So I would go into communities and do like a series of workshops, probably a few weeks, and every day would be a different thing.
That's great. And she's right, because I remember when I was in school, they actually would have like a workshop. Someone would come in and talk to us about dressing for interviews, resume writing. They don't do that anymore. That's why if you've ever, I went with my son to a job interview, and I told him, I said, number one, he's got this big afro. You guys know Gabe. I said, you got to step up your dress. I said, suit and tie. But nobody does that anymore. I don't know if you know that. The kids will show up in khaki shorts and a polo shirt for a job interview because no one's telling them any different. So if they don't know better, they can't do better. So
if they go to public school in Georgia, then they really are not as well.
Well, that's what she's saying. Something like that would be helpful, because then when you walk through the door and your dress is a couple levels higher than the other people, you automatically get a different perception. Awesome. And even out at Hype, I can't remember her name, the lady at the front desk. She was talking to one of the young men about that, about speaking a certain way and dressing a certain way. So when he walked through the door, everybody perceived him differently than the other candidates.
Have you linked up with some grant writers or been introduced to some?
Not yet. I just did my business plan. So until has the notary, then I'll go to some grant people, because I want everything to be official, so I can say it's mine, I can own it, and then I can go get funding.
I found with working with, because I'm working up under a grant now that's up under the Department of Labor, but I found people who are on ground zero, such as yourself, they have the best perception in reference to just interacting with the kids. The kids connect to you because it's not a situation where some people can do a job because it looks good on paper. But then when you try to, transition that into an actual situation, it just doesn't come out. So big ups to you, man, and whatever it is that you do. I would love to see you, get the money that you need so you can actually make a difference. Because I'm pretty sure that the people that you work for right now don't have the expertise that you do. It's my personal opinion.
Yeah. And, to piggyback off what he was saying in terms of looking for money, be careful whose grants you accept, because then people want to say on how you're going to do it and what you do. So it's better if you can get private donations, people who just believe in you, bam, here's the money, go do it.
You get a nonprofit.
Type of thing, And I've run into that with people that I work with as well.
And I had to help a white dude the other day who didn't like black people, but that's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah. Dainhen is in Dainhen's.
Sometimes I think out loud. Jack allow me to do it, so I do it. It works.
Go ahead, Jack. I know you got something to say.
We stop him. He go too far. He all right.
Jack hung up on me the other day. I called Jack. I had got my tooth pulled, and what you don't need
hang up on you.
2 hydrocodones and call Jack, because when you on hydrocodone, everything sounds real cool in your mind, but then when you try to say it out loud, Jack was like, "Man, I'm at the radio station."
I remember you called me. You must call me in the middle of something.
Yeah, I must have.
What happened, Dainhen?
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack, let me know what
right.
business and fun was. That was business.
All right, guys. Now, in terms of your dreams,
It's Dainhen's fault.
Your goals, what are some of the dreams or goals that are in your heart, things you want to accomplish over your lifetime?
My first dream is to leave behind a legacy. If people didn't remember my name, as long as they remember what I've done and contributions I've made, I would be at ease. And I don't say that just to say it. It sounds so rehearsed. But that's really what it is. You can call me Juicy. You can call me Jasmine. You can call me Jazz. You can call me that girl from Clark, Atlanta. But as long as you remember what I did for you and how it impacted you, I'm fine. My soul's at ease. That's my only dream.
I love it. I do. Now, if we have young people out there listening, because, you know, you're the youngest one in the room. I do believe, you know, just getting started out and everything. There are young people listening and they, you know, maybe they think I'm too young or, you know, I can't make an impact. And you know that that's not true.
You have a black boyfriend?
What would you say to them? Stop for a second. What would you say to the young people who are, you know, wondering if they can make a difference in their community?
You are never too young. Never too young. I started talking about helping kids when I was 5, my mom said. My nickname for my mom is Yat Yat. Because she said all I used to do was talk gibberish. And the only things that she could understand would be the same things that she can understand from my soul today. And I'm like, that's crazy because I am 22. And my mom's like, you're young, you have the rest of your life to live. And I'm like, Mom, I'm old. I am 22. And she laughed. She's like, girl, do you know how old I am? I said, no, I'm 22. And there's still so much more that I want to do. And that's why I think I'm old. There's so much. So you're never too young. Once you have a thought, turn it into a dream, connect your passions to it, and it'll get done.
I love it. All right, Dana.
No. I was just asking if you had a black boyfriend. Cause I talk to some people and then like when they leave, I see them at the grocery store. I don't have nothing against mixed relationships. My dad is in a mixed relationship, but I just like I talked to a dude. He was like very pro-black. He like his women white.
No, he just
wanted. He
had something to say today.
I have a black boyfriend.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
What if she did?
No, I'm saying nothing against
You just
that.
curious. You just curious.
Man, you know, I'm just thinking out loud, man.
He just
Okay.
wanted to say it. Didn't you get it? He just wanted to say it. Well, we thank you so much for being here. Any parting words, any parting thoughts for our listeners before you go? And not that you're going long, I think you might end up being a part of the Instinct Radio family. Me and Jack were talking about that
That
before
would be
the
nice.
show.
We need
Go
like the
ahead.
college. We need the college
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Well, I would just say,
English.
never give up. My favorite quote, I have it tattooed on my body. Reality is wrong, dreams are for real. And that is Tupac Shakur, my idol. And it's just the truth. So whatever you think, whatever thoughts you have, just run with it. The most you can do is fail, and you don't fail because you learn.
That's what's
Awesome.
up. You was
Awesome.
raised with your dad, huh?
Mom and dad.
Yeah, it shows.
Well, if someone wants to contact you, you know, maybe they want to support your nonprofit, do you have an email address or something or social media you like to give out?
Okay, so all of my social media, Twitter, Instagram, I have a Tumblr page. You can find me on Facebook as Jasmine Adams, JSMINE, ADAMS, and all of my other social media is Jazz So Juice, JASZ_SoJuice, SOJUICED.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being here. And you're going to hang around
Yes.
for the rest of the show? Yeah, we're going to talk to you after the show today about some things. All right. You guys have been live on the air with Regina Sunshine and Mr. Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio.
This is crazy important.
In the mix. The biggest station in the world. Playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Don't go nowhere. For sure.
Yeah. Your love is like cocoa butter on my heart. Your touch is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, your kiss is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh boy, you are like cocoa butter on my heart. My heart was bruised, that's what happens when you use it. Ran into someone that turned it all black and blue. It's been that way for so long, the sight became familiar. And then your love came in just like a natural healer. You got a way of making it all okay. You make it okay. Your love is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, your touch is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, your kiss is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, boy, you are like cocoa butter on my heart. I show you my burns, you show me lessons learned. I show you my scars, you show me works of art. I show you a blemish, you show me a blessing. You've got a way of making it all okay. You make it okay. Cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, your love is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, your kiss is like cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, boy, you are like cocoa butter on my heart. Ooh, rub it in. When you listen, oh, you rub it in. With your wisdom, oh, you rub it in. With a kind word, when you rub it in. Nothing hides love like on my heart. Oh, yeah. Cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, cocoa butter on my heart. Hey, yeah. Cocoa butter on my heart. Oh, won't you put some cocoa butter on my heart? Pharmacy, they ain't got it. No, the store, they ain't got it. I looked online, I can't find it. Ooh, baby, only you got it. Say, baby, only you got it. Ain't never felt nothing like this. Oh, cocoa butter on my heart. Cocoa butter on my heart. Cocoa butter on my heart. Cocoa butter on my heart.
This is crazy important.
In the mix. The biggest station in the world. Playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Don't go nowhere. For sure.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with your girl, Regina Sunshine, and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio. And if you've been tuned in so far, it's been a great show. I think it's going to get better and better. It's going to continue to build. But we have our next guest here, Miss Hope Huntley. How are you doing, Hope?
I'm good, and you?
Doing good. I normally mention how I met someone, and I think just about everybody's on the show today except for Jasmine. I know through Dainhen Butler. You guys were all people that he said definitely need to be on the show and that we needed to highlight. So we thank you, Dainhen, for bringing Hope to the show.
I appreciate you bringing all my people on one show.
It just worked out like that. It just happened to work out like these are the dates that work for people, right? This is just.
Is she playing that?
No, I didn't. It just worked out like
She
that.
planning to be sick on. So.
Oh,
she playing
good.
to be
Wow.
sick. All right.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
I never get sick.
Fizz
I'm
up,
overcoming some things. I never get sick. I don't speak that. All right. Now you're here, and Dainhen shared a little bit about your story, and I see what you sent me via email as well. You're in the middle of what someone called an incredible journey. Mm-hmm. Share a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Okay, I just got done with my last chemo, which was March the 27th.
Awesome.
So I go back in next month to just make sure everything is gone, get an x-ray, get my ultrasound, and hopefully I'm praying and I'm believing that I'm claiming it, that I'm cancer free.
Amen.
Awesome.
So tell us, I guess, how this journey started. Tell us about the beginning.
Oh, it's been a long journey, but I got sick recently, probably in August or something like that. I was getting ready for work, but I couldn't make it because I couldn't be able to walk. So I ended up going to the emergency that Thursday night, and I sat there and I was like, oh, everybody in there coughing and germs and stuff, and I'm like, man, I hope I don't catch this Ebola, because this was doing Ebola. So I had my little girl with me too, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. I call in and I come back. So I came back, and so come to find out, make a long story short, I got an ultrasound, and they found a mass, and it was like the size of a fist. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to wait. Went a little bit, situations then came up, and then I had to go speak to a representative. And when I spoke to her, she was talking about
going to make sure that it wasn't cancerous and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to get it removed because of the size of it. They didn't know if it was cancerous because it could have bust and just spread it everywhere. So I ended up having surgery. I was in surgery for 8.5 hours, and they had to cut me and then remove all. I had cancer all in my stomach, on my intestines. The mass was so big by that time because I went to have surgery in October, and I went to September. It was always the size of a football. So when they removed it, it was cancer everywhere. So by it being it attached itself to my ovaries, to my intestines and the spine of my back. So that's why I couldn't walk, and it caused so much pelvic pain. And then they removed the mass and told me that everything was gone that they can see from the eye. And then after that, I had to do 6 months of chemo.
Wow. Dainhen shared with me that you had been through an incredible journey, and that he had been encouraged.
Yeah, I had saw the movement on Facebook because, I stayed like stalking. So I was looking, I just seen all the people. You had a strong support system prior to. But then when I seen that, I seen on the Elf Council shirts. And it was like it was a movement, but it was a movement that caused an individual to want to educate themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I just started doing research. I was like, man. And then when I seen all your people just coming and come hundreds, and I was just like, wow, this like a civil rights thing. Because anytime people put themselves to the side and they come together for encourage or enlighten or and just inform individuals, you put your life on the line. You could be at home not doing nothing, but you're active. You see what I'm saying? And that within itself, you give somebody that's listening right now who need strength. And so I was like, man, I need one of them T-shirts. Where I get them T-shirts from, like for real. And I was like, I got inspiration from your movement. Like when I went to the gym, I did 50 extra push-ups. You see what I'm saying? It made me want to do something better. It made me want to, just motivate. Put something good back into the world, if that makes sense.
Awesome. What has been your strength during this journey?
Nothing but God on my side, my best cousins, my boyfriend, my family, just having a good support team and group, and people that's fighting behind you, most of all, my God and my kids.
That's awesome.
To keep me motivated to fight on. And I can say that during my whole time of me getting chemo, I didn't get sick.
I remember reading that.
Really?
I didn't get sick. Only thing I did was my hair came out, but I won't worry.
But you rocking it.
You rocking it, bro. Really?
Definitely.
You rocking it.
Thank you. I just can't do nothing but just thank God, because it was like every little thing that I was thinking of that was negative that was coming my way, it was like He made every cricket path straight for me, and I was just walking, just following. I can't do nothing but thank Him and praise Him. I had so many people saying that I motivated them, the little small things that they crying and whining about. You never cried. I had my moments. I just didn't let nobody know.
I know how that can be. I just went through this fight with my mom last year. She just cancer free, I think like 4 months ago or something like that. But I went through the whole struggle with all the doctor appointments, the chemos, all of that. So I know it take a toll on you. Them chemos, she come out of there like, babe, I don't feel right. My fingers turning black, my hair don't feel loud, and so I know what you're going through. I mean, I don't have it, so I can't say that. I don't want to say I know, but I feel your pain for real. Cause I was with mom shedding tears like, I hate you got to go through this, but she came through it. I mean, it make her stronger.
I seen her when she walked out.
Yeah.
Your mom be flirting too.
Man, we on airline. So see, it was true. She came into the house the other day, and
we can't talk about.
We can't talk about that on airline. And all her hair came out and everything, and she rocked the bald head for a while. It was a cute look. You were rocking it, So the other day she came on, her hair just started growing back, but it growing back different. It's growing back thinner or whatever, but now it's starting to get back thicker. So I took the clippers the other day, and the haircut she got now, I ain't never cut nobody's hair in my life. She's like, baby, just cut it down. I swear to God. I swear to God, the cut when she rocking right now, because that started growing, she was happy.
Bro, you do a lot of stuff around this station.
I do everything, bro. I promise you I cut my mama. It wasn't nothing but taking it all over, even and just she loved it. She rocking this. I mean, she ain't rolling on her wigs lately or nothing. She rocking this. Oh, hey, man.
That's what's up.
I mean, but yeah, I definitely feel that struggle.
It gives strength, because then, like, I get up in the morning like, this bill due, this due, my back hurt, and then I'm getting older too, and then I turn to your page, you like, living, bitches, what's up? Like, I'm like, look, you know what, she can get on, she can rock like this, get what, man, put that stuff to the side, let's keep it moving, man. So it's strength, it's motivation.
Something like that definitely defines your character.
You should drop a
because
mixtape.
It can take you can drop a mistake, right? It definitely defines your character, because something like that can take you either way. You can go left or right. I mean, you can go to the old slump. I don't even want to take care of myself. Worry about I'm giving up. It's over. Ain't no hope,
Yeah.
Or you can go to I'm living. I still got life. I'm gonna fight for what I got and keep on moving.
Yep.
And I like that. That's what you're doing. That's
awesome.
And the next thing I was going to ask is, what have you learned about yourself?
Right.
What have you found out about you during this journey?
That I was more stronger than what I was, because I was normally more vulnerable. And stuff like I was more vulnerable. I just think that my struggle gave me strength, and I have a backbone. I really found me. I learned how to accept a lot of things, because I had to accept it first. Because at first I was like, man, I want to give up. I might get sick. And, it's just the enemy in your ear with all the negative. And I was just like, I got to fight for my kids. I got to keep it moving. And I've been nonstop ever since.
That's awesome. Like Dana said, there could be people listening, who are going through some rough times. What's a word of encouragement? I mean, it could be financial for them. It could be health-wise. It could be, any number of difficulties. What's your word of encouragement for them?
Keep their faith. Always stay positive. And keep it moving, man. Learn to accept it and keep it moving. Because life don't stop. You got to keep going this way. Life is too short to be sitting up here worried about my bills and my boyfriend and
a boyfriend.
A boyfriend or boyfriends and side chick husband. You got to keep it moving. And I did it. They can do it. I fought it. I've been through a lot. I had 100 and some staples, and I'm here. My nails didn't turn dark. I wasn't weak. I had life, inspiration. I had my team, and that's it.
That's awesome. So what's next for Hope?
Hopefully, to start up my organization, like I was telling Mr. Butler, and hopefully I can be running in some of these breast cancers.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, ovarian cancer, speaking out to more and more black people and young teenagers and educating them and keeping them to strive and keep forward.
So you mentioned starting your own organization. What are some of the goals? What are some of the things you hope to accomplish with that?
I'm trying to start up a hair drive where I can get people like me. I didn't wear wigs and stuff like that. I wore me a rag. I learned how to wear it any kind of way, to the back, to the side. But, for the ones that's less fortunate, that can't be able to afford wigs and stuff like that, I want to be the one that they can come to me and I can donate something to them, something that'll make them feel a little bit better about it.
Again, ground zero. People who are ground zero, they have a better perception as to what's going on. Excuse, can I say fuck counsel?
No.
Okay.
You definitely can't say that.
Okay.
You definitely can't say that.
Why
You
not?
know
You
you can't say that.
I'm with a PH.
Oh, wow. All right. So if someone is listening and they want to support
We're going to have to talk, Dana.
Yeah, and they want to support you, your efforts, where can they find you on social media or either by email?
I got a Team Hope Fuck Cancer page. Excuse me. F Council. I got Team Hope F Council, but I put it with a PH. Like I said.
I apologize.
They can find me on Facebook.
And you weren't at the meeting.
We talked about this at the education meeting on Sunday. I apologize
for all the shows.
It's a strong movement though, but I understand. Okay. I apologize.
Not recording meetings. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, honey. Tell us again. I'm sorry.
And then I'm on Instagram at Team Hope F Cancer.
Awesome. Any final words, Dana?
Wait. No. Is it spelled all the way out or is F Council?
No, it's P.
No, I'm talking about F Council. Is it spelled out or it's just like that, the letter F Council? It's spelled out or just F? Okay. F Council with PH. Okay.
Okay, right. So I get a pass?
No.
I'm not going to say it again.
I'm just saying for the people who listening who want to go find her. Yeah. So they don't go looking for the wrong
So you
thing.
still going to chew my head out when we get through.
Spelling. She could have spelled it out or whatever. I'm just saying.
Okay, I spelled it.
I'm not saying. That's a whole nother conversation, Dane.
I knew it. But it gave me strength, though, when I because I heard Kevin Hart say it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Any parting words? Any final thoughts for our listeners today?
See,
will you hang around towards the end? We like to do like a group discussion at the end, and I don't even know Dainhen all the way live, and we ain't even got to the group discussion yet. Hang around, and we all gonna have a group discussion at the end, just talk about some things that really matter. All right. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. You're live on the air with Regina Sunshine and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. We're listening to Instinct Radio. I believe in open doors. I've taken off the screen. I'm ready to let the world come inside and touch my life. I will no longer be defined by what someone else believes that I am. And now that I've dropped the weight, I am light as a feather. It's time to elevate. Sober eyes, lift your eyes, spread your wings, prepare to fly. This is the moment of your life. Go ahead and fly. I believe in open doors. I'm outside of the box. What did not demolish me simply polished me. Now the clearer I can see. I know where I wanna go. I am living in the flow. And now that I've dropped the weight, I am light as a feather. It's time to elevate. Sober eyes, lift your eyes, spread your wings, and prepare to fly. This is the moment of your life. Go ahead and fly. I believe in open doors. The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. We're listening to Instinct Radio.
Oh. All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with your girl Regina Sunshine and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio, and we have our next guest here, another Beautiful contribution from Mr. Dainhen Butler. We have Timon. Is it Timon?
Timon.
Timon Brown here with us. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent. I always strive for excellence. So just like yourself, we always overcoming. So I'm definitely feeling that vibration. So, what we project is what we cast out and what people feel. So, yeah, I'm excellent.
I love it.
Glad to be here. Thanks
I love it.
me.
And you sent some beautiful messages this morning about bringing your queen with you. How are you doing? I know she doesn't want to be on camera, but she is, I'm sure, just a little bit.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, that's definitely the queen.
Yeah, but I do appreciate your energy.
Yes.
Even, you text me first this morning, just sending, beautiful words of encouragement. I was like, wow, I love that. Normally I'm Regina Sunshine. I normally do that. And I was like, he sent me the sunshine this morning, and I needed that. So
Sometimes
I thank
we all
you.
do. Yes, definitely.
I thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I see myself as equal to my people, not higher or lower. I'm a brother in the struggle. We all struggling. But we struggle not to struggle, we struggle to strive. It's not just surviving. We all trying to live. So, I'm community-based oriented, I love my people, I love my family, I love myself. And I love my ancestors most of all. And, that's me in a nutshell. I think that I'm an African. I claim African descent, and I think that tells a very vast story in itself. So that's who I am.
Awesome. I got so many questions. Let's start with your book.
Okay.
Let's start with your book. Tell us about your book.
My book, I'm gonna let that be the intro. The name of my book is Blackberries.
Yes.
My book of love, self, and life. And I got one for the queen. I wanted to present that to you on the show. That's an autographed copy, just to get that out of the way. And,
the guys gonna be mad. I was gonna say they always say people bring stuff for me. They don't bring stuff for them.
That's what's up.
And
thank you.
Blackberries, my book of love, self, and life, is a symbol of not just my struggle, but a lot of brothers and sisters and youth alike who are behind that wall, who are doing prison time. I didn't know that I was writing a book. Let me just say that. I did not sit down back in 2003, which I was 3 years into my 13-year sentence here in Georgia, in the state of Georgia. I didn't know that I was writing a book. I was inspired, actually, by brothers such as Brother Butler and the like, who had vision, who had focus, and who had discipline. Those are very, very vital ingredients inside of any type of situation that you're dealing with. So when you're in a stressful and a struggle situation, you have to have an outlet. If you don't have an outlet that's constructive, then you're gonna become destructive. And the first person that you're gonna destroy is yourself and everything and everyone around you. So on those days, those times, or those situations where I needed an outlet, I found my outlet in brothers such as Brother Butler, where we would sit and we would talk and we would build, or I would just go to the cell or sit at a table and write. Sometimes I wrote about love, a love that I wish I had. Sometimes I wrote about the things that I saw other brothers and sisters going through, the letters that I would get from, from society, from my family, friends, or things that their people may have been going through. I was just inspired by life, and that became my outlet. That became my refuge. Because writing me is spiritual. Because when you're in the privacy of your own mind, you're going to communicate the depths of it, and you're not going to leave anything out, and that's Blackberries.
So your time incarcerated helped you to connect with your inner self. It helped you find self and to bring that out, if that makes sense.
Okay, I always like to make sure that when I communicate that I communicate it correct.
Okay.
The system of incarceration and imprisonment of our people, it in itself is despicable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I agree.
There are all different types of ways for us to isolate ourselves. It just so happens that I was placed inside a forced state of isolation and a sabbatical or what have you. And you'll be surprised what you can find out about yourself in the darkness.
With no distractions.
With no distractions. With pressure applied, wherein you're constantly faced with life or death situations. So you're either going to rise, like W.E.B. Du Bois said, or you're going to fall. You're going to divide yourself in two. You're going to run from your responsibility. You're going to run from the reality. You're going to run from yourself, and you're going to destroy yourself through your own decisions. So that's how it all came about. It was an outlet, and over the years, they accumulated. And 2005, 2006, it's kind of ironic because things come full circle. I never thought about producing an actual physical product, wherein I could actually share with other people. These writings were writings that date back from 2003, 2004, 2005 on up. When you actually watch my child, and I call it my child, my writings like a child grow. As I grew, my expressions grew, and it just came into being. But I never thought that, wow, should I put these writings into a book? Because they were just writings inside of a legal envelope being transferred with me to one prison to the next, or one cell to the next, or one dorm to the next. But I knew that unless it reached a platform wherein other people could be exposed to it, that I would be the only person that knew about these things that were produced. I had produced 2 separate manuscripts, my first manuscripts that I had ever produced, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to go forth with it. There were still some things inside of myself and inside of my writings and inside of my life's experiences that had not lived yet or that had not been developed. And I would definitely like to take my hat off to this brother, my brother Butler, because I actually let you read 2 of my first manuscripts. And I still have those manuscripts buried. And growth is a process. And when you read my introduction, he gave me some powerful suggestions. You gave me some powerful suggestions. I said, what would you do different than what I did? And we're always objective with each other, okay? And he says, well, what I would have done or what I would do if I were you, I would take the time out to actually detail and give smidgets in the introduction of and allow the people to know what they can expect inside of each part or each chapter. And I carried that with me. I would have to say for probably like the next 6 years, because 2011, I met a brother named Michael Blake. He's the author of Holy City out of Chicago. And he was the first brother for me. Well, I have to say the second, because when brother Butler got out, he kept his word, and he got out and he sent us a copy of his book back into the system, and that in itself was inspiration. Just to know that somebody who was in the same situation that I was in actually got out and did exactly what he said he was going to do. That's very rare, because a lot of people are all talk, but I know for a fact that this brother's a man of action. And it was actions like that inspired us to say, hey, we can do something too. So it was that was the catalyst that made me want to go forth. But I'm not going to take all of the credit, because without my family, without my queen, without that family support, who do you think was doing all of the legwork? All I did was send a manuscript to the street. But it was my queen, my beautiful mother, my beautiful queen. They were backing me 1,000%, okay? And I would like to say without them, Blackberries wouldn't that be.
Awesome. You mentioned some of the conversations, I guess, that you guys would have had together. What does it feel like now to see these things that you spoke then manifesting now in the present?
It's like, I guess, me not being a woman, but from a man's perspective, when you watch the whole impregnation of the black woman and, that oneness between her and her child before she even sees that child's face come into fruition, I'm going to say that in all of those elements, whether you look at it metaphysical or metaphorical or what have you, that's how it was, because the pen was my womb, the paper was my womb. Because I didn't have a physical woman. Yeah. Okay, so when I wanted to express myself, I went and expressed myself with my woman. At that time, it was my pen. My pen was the phallus, and my pen and my paper was the womb, and I impregnated it with my thoughts. And seeing that book, come to fruition like that, with all of the labor pains of the struggle and everything that we have to go through, all of the processes, the behind the scenes things that authors go through, just getting it to its finished product, the editing and all of that, the financing or what have you, I look at it as like it's my child. I look at it like it's my child.
He doesn't leave room for punchlines or nothing. Whenever I talk to him, it just be like, the first time I ever talked to him, I was like, man, this brother know more words than I know. And then I just every time I talk to him, I try to operate from a certain a position of integrity, a person with ethics, a person who loves his people. But then when I talk to this brother, I'm just like, you know what? It's somebody that's standing in the shadows that really showing enough got my back, but he showed enough for real, for real, for real. Like, it's not a game at all. And I commend you on giving me credit for doing what I've done.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have to give you credit for some of the stuff where I'm walking in. If you're not safe in that particular environment, you'll begin to think you're the smartest person in the classroom because you're not interacting with anybody. Or the people that you're interacting with, they ain't got good sense at all. You see what I'm saying? And it's only that you come across somebody. It was a group of people. It was probably, I can count them on one hand. Some of those people, well, all of those people I still interact with to this very day. It's a situation where, you know what, iron constantly sharpen iron.
Yes. Right.
And with my first, I finished my first book, but you know what, I wouldn't even put that book in print because I've learned so much more from that. And then my pen, when you say what I can't say it the way you said it because you made it sound like poetry. But, I escaped through my writing. Right. Like the title of my book is Shouty, if you want to go pick it up. But but some of the scenes in there, I wasn't even writing no more. I was just like, you know what? I don't have no batteries for my headphones. I can't get on the phone. Right. I'm about to live through this pen. And that's what I did. And all the time, it doesn't come together as a plot. It doesn't come together. Sometimes what you have in your mind, it doesn't communicate because I was an inexperienced writer. You know what? And while we were talking, what I did was I asked some of the guys that I don't know if I got an entry from you, but some of the guys had like double life, triple life. And I said to myself, what would you have said to yourself before you start messing up?
Right.
And by the time I left, I had like a packet of them. But then when I came home and I put my first book out, what I learned is just because my mama bought a copy and it's a cool picture of me on the back of it, that don't mean that it's going to get it on and off the shelf. So I went back to school and I got my associate's degree in marketing and management because I wanted to learn how to do it the right way. But when I thought about doing it the right way, I thought about brothers like you and the black Ronnie Miller who were effective in whatever it is that they did. And I was just like, sometimes you hear certain voices, you hear certain people saying step it up or get it done. And so I went back to school. And now I know what to do with that work of art. Right. I know I have the channels I got people waiting on the book now. You know what I mean? So I commend you for just being Monday through Friday. You can probably contest this. Monday through Friday, brother, same way. It ain't no switching up. It ain't no holidays. It ain't no days off. It's the same way. It's effective. It's efficient. And it's for real, for real. He talk like it's a poem all the time. Man, so I just commend you. I can't wait to read the book, man. I need to get you and Jack. I need to get you and Jack in this next book that's coming out, man. And
would you like for you to answer that question now, or you?
Go ahead, cause yeah.
Okay.
What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to follow our way as a people, to study our history as a people, as a black people. Our history goes way beyond just who we have become or who we've been forced to become here in the Americas, in this European white supremacist system. If only our youth would be given the real depths of our ancestors, our ancestral history, before, I'm talking about antiquity, okay? The dynasties, the 26 dynasties, mostly the first 13, okay? Prior to the invasions, they will be given so much that it will be impossible for them not to succeed. But it will not be a success defined by anybody else other than ourselves. It would make our ancestors proud. And to me, that is the ultimate success. To know that we have come back into the oneness of who we are as a people, and to a point where our intelligence, our creativity, all of the magnificence of our beings, from mental, physical, or spiritual, it can be used in a divine way to help to propel us forward, wherein we are not exploited for our intelligence, we're not exploited for our creativity, and we can actually build upon our own black power.
You sound like somebody.
You make me want to read. Like, I just want to go read.
This is the phone conversations I had with somebody.
My man from Public Enemy.
Yeah, Griff. You sound like me. Like Griff on the phone having a conversation with me. Yeah. Which is deep respect, really. Have you had the opportunity to meet him?
I have. And, the brother is a very powerful brother, one whom I highly respect. I respect any black woman man and child who are striving to get beyond oppression, who are striving to uplift themselves out of a situation. I respect everybody in this room. I respect us as a people because I know what we've been through. Whether conscious or unconscious, I know why we're in the situations that we're in. So much respect to Professor Briff, much respect to the entire African community. Whether conscious, if you're unconscious, may you become conscious, because let me tell you, you don't know what you're missing out on.
Well, when you think about the legacy you want to leave behind, the footprint you want your life to leave, right. What is that legacy?
Well, in the African community, we have a saying, an African proverb that says, I am because we are. I am nothing, absolutely nothing without my people. So it's not about the legacy that I want to leave behind. If I had to define it in a singularity, I would say that, well, the only thing that I really would like to do is to make my ancestors proud. That when I do take my final breath on this plane, that the ancestors will welcome me with open arms. And that, to me, covers a very vast territory. So that means every waking hour, every day, every night, every contact, every communication, every work that we do, it's in the name of our ancestors, it's in the name of our people. So as long as I'm making my contribution, as long as you're making your contribution, whomever you may be, don't second rate it and don't underplay it. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're doing the people's work, I say Ashe and a Bibi Fahodie, which means African liberation. And, that's the greatest legacy that I could ever leave behind, is to know that I made my ancestors proud by doing my share of my work.
Awesome. Where can we find your book? Where online can they find your book?
Blackberries, my book of love, self, and life, can be found on Ex Libris, and that's XLIBRIS.com. That's the self-publishing company that I went through, okay? I always like to mention them first. And then you can also find it on Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com. And those are the three venues that I pretty much,
Awesome.
So.
I know you got something else.
I'm just gonna go plant a garden when we leave here and teach somebody something. I definitely got some more reading to do. So because you know what, a lot of times I interact with all types of people.
Right.
And sometimes I have to. What I've learned is that I want my ancestors to be proud as well. Then sometimes I get caught up in trying to bring so much of us together, trying to bring so much light to our people, right, that sometimes you can get caught up and you can get lost in the American pie to one degree or another, man. So it's always good to have people in your immediate circle who can always not only just bring you back in surface, but also focus, but also who can remind you that this is what the mission is, this is what's going on. And if you lose sight of anything else, always resort back to the plan, the initial plan, and that is to make our ancestors proud.
I have one thing that I would like to interject, because I don't know how much time I have left, but it's a sense of urgency. And that urgency is that I have another book that's coming out, and the name of it is Metamorphosis, okay? And it's about change and growth. Inside of that next work, my introduction revolves around a brother whose name is Jason Elder. And he is locked up right now in the Georgia Department of Correction, and he is an innocent man. He has a videotape that proves his innocence. And I took his story. He's been locked up 16 years, and he's given a life sentence. And they're trying to keep this evidence out of the courts. His name is Jason Elder. His GEC number is 104-5954. You can look him up. He's an innocent man. And I intertwined his story inside of my introduction for Metamorphosis, because it speaks about the changes and the growth that we all have to go through in order to do what I love you said, to overcome. Because sometimes obstacles that are not even self-created can be placed in our way, and we still have to call upon the depths of our power and our strength and our resilience to overcome that, and not let the things that are trying to stop us from fulfilling our destiny to conquer us. And to his family and to any other family that may have brothers or sisters or even youth that are locked up in these European dungeons, stay strong and support your people. And I definitely wanted to put that out there, because there are a lot of innocent brothers and sisters. And if you pay attention to the media, they're getting out now on DNA.
I've been seeing
and I don't think that's something that we should ignore.
31 years later, man, he got cancer real bad, man.
Yeah, he has lung cancer now.
Then
That brother was locked up for 30 years, and they would not give him his $330,000 because of what they assumed he had knowledge of. So I definitely, not just to pinpoint Jason Elder, but I gave that brother and his family my word because it still fits into the interview because he's a part of my next literary work.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to put it out there. Support our brothers and sisters and our youth that are behind that wall. Don't shun them and think that, hey, don't judge them because of what they've got on or the situations that they're in, because you don't know what their story might be. Because there's a lot of us that are innocent that are behind that wall.
Let me go get a green dot.
So,
Absolutely.
Definitely. Thank you for letting me share that.
You went right over their head with that. Us three know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
All right.
You ain't keeping it real.
Yeah, you ain't making it real.
Yeah, some people say I've lived the Camelot life, but anyway, I've been blessed. I've
awesome.
been not sheltered, but I've had the opportunity not to experience a lot that a lot of people have. I've had some wonderful parents who really kept me safe, I guess you would say. Right. But what I was going to say to people who are listening and they want to support your efforts or they want more information about the brother that you just mentioned, where can they get in contact with you?
My name is Timon Brown. That's Timon Brown. I can be found on Facebook. That's pretty much where I do most of my networking. It's not hard to find me. You can send me a friend request. If you have any advice or solutions that you think, or resources or what have you, that you think could aid Brother Jason Elder and his family, in their efforts to get this evidence before the courts, just simply inbox me, or like I said, or I can provide you with his direct information. I will provide information if you want to write it or you want to contact him and his family. So send me a friend request to Timon Brown on Facebook.
Awesome.
Oh, no, I'm good.
All right. Well, one more time, remind everybody where they can find your book and how, again, they can reach you on social media so we can make sure they got your contact information. And then just any parting thought, anything that's on your heart that you feel like you want to say.
Okay. Once again, my name is Timon Brown. That's Timon Brown. You can find me on Facebook. It's very easy. I will accept your friend requests. If you have any information on Brother Jason Elder, once again, just briefly, his GDC number, which is his state ID number, is 1045954. And you can look him up on the Georgia Department of Corrections website. If you have any, further concerns, inbox me, and I will provide you with the detailed information. If you want to send him a letter or you want to contact his family, I'll be more than happy to provide you with that information. Once again, you can find my book on exlibris.com. That's XLIBRIS.com. That's the home company. And Amazon.com, and Barnes & Nobles. You can pick up a copy of Blackberries. And like I said, it's my gift from me to you. My last words, don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your real true identity. Don't give up on what you know you're capable of, no matter what type of situation you're in. It's brothers such as my brother right here. We were sitting across a prison table 4 or 5, 6 years ago. No,
I've been
that's
on
not
8
correct.
years.
Probably like about 9 years.
I'm almost 10 years in the game.
Yeah, about 10 years in the game. Thank you for the correction. But the point is that we didn't start out here. We've all been through the fire, and the fire didn't melt us. So you may be burning, but don't melt. Let it forge you, become more resilient, never give up. I would like to say once again, a Bibi Fahodie. And with that, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. You're going to hang around?
Yes,
for the end?
I'm going to hang around. I'm going to
have a group discussion at the end. I don't even know what to say.
There's nothing to be said.
I know. So we're going to just take this break.
Thank you.
You're live with Regina Sunshine and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back Show on Instinct Radio.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio. Nothing above him, help him there to remind him he's made in the image of God. When he struggles with troubles, he needs to know that his mistakes don't define his life. I'm a living example that there is a chance for redemption on the other side. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I the one to teach him? Yes, I am. Am I the one to reach him? Yes, I can. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh, yeah. Sing together like, yes, I am. Am I my brother's teacher? Yes, I am. Am I the one to reach him? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's teacher? Yes, I am. Am I the one to reach him? Yes, I can. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with your girl Regina Sunshine and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio. And we have our next guest, also introduced to me by Dainhen, but I have my own relationship with them now. We have Tiffany Dewalt and Tangie Morris. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
They represent life, which is ladies in full effect. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to meet y'all. Before we set up, I don't know if you know, we were supposed to have dinner, but we ended up, it was a crazy day, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
we
it
had
was.
girl time.
We had girl time. It was really cool. And we talked about you and everything.
Yep.
So anyway.
All right.
See my facial expression.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which way that went.
Behind your back a little bit.
It was all positive. It was all positive.
Mhm.
All right, you guys, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow. We are ladies in full effect, also known, like you said, as life. And most people don't know that we're sisters biologically. I know.
Same mama, same daddy.
You know, we growing up in the South, you get, are you sisters? You know, it's just kind of funny. But, yeah, we are. And we started our organization 10 years ago. So we are 10 years strong. And we started as a girls group in a small apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. We started because we have a younger sister and we wanted to give back to her. She was getting ready to start high school. Work with her, do some things, kind of teach her the ropes. Like, hey, you know what? You're coming into being an adult. We told her to invite a few friends, and then those friends invited friends. Next thing we know, we had 30 girls in them 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
And we said, hey, you know what? This is nothing that we decided to do. We didn't put a blueprint down or anything like that. But you know what? When God gives you something, you know that it's
just
from
run
him,
with
just
it.
go with it.
Just go with it.
And then we didn't even like each other when we were younger, you know. So it's so funny that now we get along together so well and we work together so well. And here we are 10 years later. We have a we've grown into a big organization where we're reaching the community and a ministry that we just love. We
absolutely love, and it's so awesome because it's wrapped around who we were as children. We can actually pick out bits and pieces of our lives and know that we were molded and made for what we do now, and as far as what we do, we actually literally go out to random communities and we set up shop sometimes with a DJ. We get prizes. We have games set up. Each game is set up to surround or give information about life. It might be tug of war. It might be 3-legged race. And we start out, well, if you fall down in life, what do? Get back up. You fall down in life, what do? get back up on your mark, get set, go, and the kids go, and so each game has a method, it has a message behind it. So we playing old school games that we all in this room know, but it has a message behind it, and so but we're just so much more than that. We're so much more.
It allows us for a springboard to reach the community. One thing that we learned when working with young girls is that we can't really be impactful. We can't really be impactful unless we reach them as a family. We could not leave the parents out. We could not leave the brothers out because they had a lot of brothers who wanted to get involved. So we said, how can we include the whole family? So we go out and when we go out into these communities, that's our springboard to get to know what's going on in the community, get to know what their needs are, look at their family dynamics, and really get in the open door. Because what we really, really, truly love to do is we love to go into these homes and work with these families one-on-one. And that's our life coaching part of it. So we go in and we look and see what they need, what issues they have amongst parents and children, amongst each other, how they're set up, and how we can give them and offer them some things and some opportunities, some resources, things that we may know about in the community that they may not be aware of. And then we start them from there.
All right, so many different components,
Yep.
so many different
Absolutely.
pieces. Yes. So it started off with just girls. What were some of the things that topics you would address with these girls when you'd have them together?
Now you already know.
Yeah, go ahead. But we let our audience know. Go ahead and talk about it.
We went from etiquette to abstinence because, people always teach how to protect yourself. And we did, touch on that, but we wanted to teach these girls that anything is possible. And that's including getting pregnant regardless of your protection, and also getting STDs regardless. So we wanted to teach them both things. But and we taught them etiquette. We taught them how to fill out college applications. It was extremely important to teach them to give back to their communities. So before our first year was up, we had started a variety show for charity. And Hurricane Katrina was 2005 had gone by, and the Katrina victims. So we actually put on a variety show, and the girls were the performers. They stepped, they danced, and Tangie's a minor in theater, so an awesome director. If y'all get a chance to come see one of our shows, you're going to be amazed. But they did all of the performances, and in order to get in, you had to donate to whatever charity that we were promoting at that time. It might at that time it was Hosea Feed the Hungry donating hygiene products, and that was their ticket in. Our first year we had 2 shows and over 100 people in each show. And after the girls were done, they were like celebrities. They felt like celebrities. People were so excited about what we were doing, and we just kept it going. It was like, we're on to something.
And it allowed them to express their talents and their gifts that maybe in other arenas, like they didn't have the opportunity to be a Girl Scout or be on the dance team or cheerleading or whatever that they like to do. So it allowed them the opportunity to, number one, practice some things they have never done before, but it also allowed them the opportunity to express their talents that they may have already had. So.
Where are you guys getting the funding to do all this stuff?
Ooh. My back pocket. No, seriously. We've never had a grant, and that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. We knew that it was important for us if we were going to do something to just do it and not worry about the funding. A lot of it comes from donations of things, and that may be some things we may have in our garage or in our closet, or somebody else that may be given to us. And then other things really literally we put back into our own organization.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this though, for with the people who are listening and who can't, because you guys are ground zero. You guys are in the mud. Some people simply don't have the time. They don't have the talents. They don't have the ability to get out there and do what it is that you do. So if they want to help you guys out, if they want to assist you, how would they go about in getting in contact with you, or donating, or giving a word of inspiration, or just laying hands on you?
LadiesInFullEffect.org. O-R-G.
That's our first stop.
That's our first stop. And we also have another website, which is I Represent Life, because we love to, when we interact with the community, we do pull them to the side, and we have T-shirts and everything, because people love things, and they love free stuff, and we give them a T-shirt. In order to get the T-shirt, my name is, and I represent life. And we create little photogs, with all the people who are involved, and, people from all over the country, that are from, just whoever's involved in that day, they get into those photogs. And but yeah, at Facebook, Twitter. We're
our
everywhere.
number's on our site too. So I mean, we're really literally
What's
just
that
a
number?
phone call away. 678-485-8818. Literally a phone call, a text away. 678-485-8818, and it's easy because it's got a lot of 8s. So you can't, if you guys want to literally contact us, I mean, we're never too busy to pick up a phone or respond to, like we said, a text or something like that.
Is it a reason that you guys hadn't inquired or did any homework in reference to, trying to get some grant money?
We've done homework. In the past, we really didn't need it per se at the time. But now, this year, God is we call it a roller coaster ride. We're at the top of the hill right now. And you know how it feels when you're getting ready to go down. That's the whole thrill right there. And so we're actually in the pursuit of that right now. Okay. And by the grace of God, last year we were nominated for the nonprofit Trinity Award, which is a big deal for us. That was our first nomination.
So you guys are a nonprofit?
We are nonprofit.
Okay, that's what's up.
We are nonprofit, and we were nominated, and which actually connected us with many nonprofits. But the head honcho of nonprofits, the one who's over the Trinity Awards, she recognized us, and she wanted to get with us so that she could actually help us get our 501c3 because we are not quite yet with that. So that we're in pursuit of that, and if anybody wants to donate or do cause help us get that, we are in pursuit of getting that as of right now. But once we get that, it is the whole world is out there. Yeah. And what's important to us, just this last year, our theme was the Village People Project, where we were bringing nonprofits from all over together, such as these awesome people with awesome testimonies back here, together. So because the community doesn't know that we're out here. Everybody's trying to do this on their own. She's doing this on her own. She's doing hers on her own. And we're all a village. And we have to work together to get this done. And each community that we go to, we can see the needs for somebody. We needed this young man just a few weeks ago. We were in Stone Mountain at a park, in an apartment community. And these kids, were awesome. And just as bad as I don't know what at the same time. and so awesome, they didn't even know we were coming. We pull up, these kids meet us at the car. Do you guys need any help? We didn't carry anything. They didn't know what we had. We had some food. But they didn't see the food. They didn't see, but we had it. They smelled it.
They must have. They set our whole thing up.
They set it up.
How did y'all know we were
They set it up. They sat down and they were waiting for it to get started. And they, but at the same time, they were, can I have this? Can I do it? We was like, just calm down. We haven't started yet. But in the midst of it, we had a lot of little boys. Now we're women. So we can't really give them the information that you fellas can give. And they were fighting. 1 minute they were fighting, choking each other, punching each other. And so we were sitting there looking at each other like, this is a whole new dynamic of kids.
Many families and kids we work with, this was new for us. And then we was like, okay, this is, Stone Mountain. This is what go on in Stone Mountain.
They're called KRC apartments. That's off of
it's over
Central.
Near Central.
Y'all was in the Wild Wild West.
The Wild West.
Yes. And we love it. We love to go to the places that nobody. They have a church right across the street. Where y'all at?
Yeah, that's a big church too. Yeah. The parking lot is
and I ain't gonna say the name of the church, but yes.
It do be at the gas station up the street.
The Mexicans be at the gas station up the street. I just say what comes to my mind. Because I have a perception about church, and we won't get into it because we already can't say the F word. So,
no, I understand.
The C word,
no, but I understand because part of our mission is to call them out, because I don't understand when there's a huge church within a community and there's so much going on around it. When I go to a community and you have houses with windows busted out, grass is not cut, they're losing their homes.
But I can tell you exactly what the problem is. The problem is that they're more concerned about the building and the people that are right here and not the community. They don't understand that the message is to go into the world.
Yes.
And I have been blessed to be a part of churches that we understood that mission, and then it's about service, and service is about love. I love you because I serve you.
Exactly.
It's an action word, and a lot of people don't get that. I don't. If you're hungry, I'm telling you about this great life, but if all I'm thinking is I'm hungry,
how do you
gotta feed me first. You gotta meet that need first.
Exactly.
Because my dad is from Detroit. He told me all about penny. And so what I'm saying is that it's a lot of pimping that's going on, and it's not all pinky rings and boots. Some of it is four-corner churches.
But isn't that why you love outreach, though? Isn't that why you love outreach and being
know,
able to get outside of that and outside of the box a little bit? And that's nothing to say about churches personally.
Right.
And, I'm not going to say I agree or disagree, but I do think that there is something to be said about getting outside of the four walls and being able to reach people who are not necessarily in it, and putting yourself aside. Because when you're inside those four walls, you start getting into self.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But when you get outside of the four walls and you actually see what people are going through,
you're
going into their
Exposes
homes and they're not
you.
dressed up looking like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You see what's really going on, and then you have more of a ear to listen and more of a heart to feel what's really going on.
And I think it makes a difference who you're being led by as well, or what groups you are a part of. If you haven't lived that life or seen that life. For instance, I think you and I, we had the conversation. It was nothing for me to wake up and there was a homeless person on the couch at my house that my parents brought in. That's what I lived. That's all I knew.
Exactly.
In our house, the front door was never locked. It was an open door because people would come in because they knew if you came here, you would be fed. Somebody would feed you. Somebody would meet your needs. So that's all I know. So if that's what you've experienced, then it's more a part of your life. But if people don't know that, if they haven't been exposed to that, and somebody's telling them something altogether different than what the truth is, then they're not going to be out there. But it helps when you see people like you who are out doing the work. Then it kind of brings it to the forefront.
Regina, my mom, she worked for DFACS when we were kids, and so she would take us to the shelters, and it was an experience like no other. And we're talking kids, little girls that have been raped. I mean, gang rape. Men put them up in hotels and have all their friends come and have a good time on, and they believe that's love. They really believe that this is love, and they're going to turn 18, and the system is going to put them out there on the street, and who do they have to turn to? Back to those same people that they thought
and
loved
this is after
them.
coming from, they're in a shelter anyway because they're coming from a home environment where they already were molested, raped, abused, mistreated. So now you go into a shelter life, and it's the same thing going on because everybody in that arena has all had this going on with them, and so they sort of attack each other because that's what they've learned. They've learned to attack each other or to abuse. It's kind of like, you ever heard of the saying like the abuse sort of takes on the mind of the abuser? It's like that. So everybody's sort of continuing to oppress each other, keep each other back, like crabs in a bucket, so to speak.
The hurt. They hurt people, and so they continue to hurt each other. But they believe it's a form of love, and they believe that it's a representation of life. But instead, we go out to the community and tell them, "Look, my name is Tiffany, and I represent life."
Yes,
that word is powerful. I mean, even though we use it to stand for our organization, but we use the word life more because it gives us an open window to deal with a plethora of things. It does not limit just one thing. And like I said, if we can't deal with it, we will find, if we don't have it, a resource to deal with it. And that's why we continue to work out there and get to know what other people have going on in the community that we can link other people to.
That's great. When we started the BOSS organization, that was the reason behind BOSS. I said there are so many people out here doing individual efforts. I wanted the doers to know who the doers were. So I went out into the community and I said, who's out here doing da 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 da? Because the people in the community know. It's not who's got the billboards or who everybody say. You go into the community, people will tell you who's coming into the community and doing the work. And I wanted them to know, because the thing was, if we unify, we work together, we get more work done than we do with our individual efforts.
Absolutely. We have all these people coming up with these non-profits and people that saving the world.
You're reading my mind right now. My mind already started putting together a plan on something.
That would be great. And
let's do it.
I got something like that. I've been
let's do it.
Hope we can get some books. We have so many people that come through. And
we do.
Everybody to be on a positive movement, and we can come together and find out how it could benefit the community at large. In an effective manner, man, that would be awesome.
Actually, we actually came with a challenge on you guys because, like I said, we go out to the community just random. We just pick a community and set it up. I mean, we've gotten so good at this that our last event, this is what's the kicker. I don't know, we had maybe 20, 30 kids outside for the Stone Mountain.
It was more than that.
We've done this event so many times that it took us less than $100 to do this event. We go out there with a PA system, some music, some pizzas, some shirts, some prizes. It don't cost nothing for us to go out there into these communities. How often? We do it, every couple months or so? Because we're doing something all the time. We visit churches. We go all over the place. We're We're fellowshipping.
Okay, I'm itching. Hold up. You said the challenge. What's the challenge?
challenge
I'm
is
back to that too. I'm
waiting.
I'm trying.
The challenge is bring the radio station out. Come on with the radio station, because if you bring things that these kids normally do not see, that they cannot experience, bring it to them. We don't have a bus where we can go and pick them all up and take them out to the museums and bring it to them. Just imagine a child. I think I talked to you about that. Just imagine a child walking out the apartment building in the big old green field and see a horse walking around giving rides in their own community, in their own backyard. These are things because their parents can't put them in a car and take them to enjoy these types of things. It costs money, it costs gas, it costs time.
Or if you're out in Riverdale, they just got a bus system.
Just in March.
So you sort of in locked in your own city.
All right, so the challenge
That's your challenge, live remote.
Live remote.
Something
that's it.
Put the kids on air. Like Instinct life event.
Wherever Jack decided he gonna go, I would donate a moonwalk in the Cotton Candy.
There we go.
Wherever Instinct Radio go in reference to helping any of these organizations, you got my word.
We'll bring and we need y'all too. Come out and represent who you are.
They walk outside, there's a big bouncy outside, and there's a cotton candy machine.
Yeah.
From Funtime Moonwalk Rentals.
Right.
19690. And we have special discounts for baby daddies on child support.
Yes, baby daddies on child support.
Hey, that definitely sounds like something we be interested in. That's the direction we're moving in. So that's right up our alley. That's not a challenge. That's not a challenge.
That sounds like. Is that an acceptance of the challenge?
That's an acceptance. Okay, what is it then? What is it?
Definitely. As long as the times match up, we can make it happen.
There we go. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that on the radio?
One time Moonwalk Rentals is there.
And we'll bring in other people. Put together a big sponsorship package.
Jack Trey literally knows everybody.
Jack Trey.
Why do people say?
Y'all we hear this right on the radio, right?
So we got ladies in full effect. InstinctRadio.net represents whatever we decide to name the community event.
All right, sounds like a meeting right after the show.
All right.
Would like to bring that event to my hood though.
That's what's up. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Woo,
that's my prayer right there. Let's go to the
we can actually
with
put that
Able
event
Mabel.
together with the Rick Ross thing, with Able Mabel, with English Avenue thing.
Yeah, the project over there.
Right.
Have it in a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
I got to get back to the detail. That I didn't even call it. No,
this is what Able Mabel was talking about specifically. About
we had did it once before the English Avenue Community Day, but it didn't happen the next year.
Yeah.
It was I think it was a sponsorship problem. But I asked Mr. Me. Have you talked to her that couple weeks? We'll talk about that. That's definitely something we can make it happen. We can put it with the rest of the things.
I'm excited.
Because what he's talking about, Freeway Rick Ross is, basically make Atlanta his second home now, and he's working on a bunch of community projects as well. And one of the things he wants to do is like a community center where young people can go in, they learn how to write a business plan.
Awesome.
Learn how to, all the different things you may need to help make your dream come true. This kind of tools they might not have access to right now. And so that's what Jack was talking about. So something like this would be a great kickoff for some of the programs that they're talking about putting in place.
Yes,
so goals for the organization. What are your goals, or long-term goals for your organization?
Man, our goals, I'm just going to call it like this because, our biggest goal is a top secret goal.
Okay.
And it's what we call a God-sized assignment. And even with the challenge that we have today, because it's a blessing. This is out of the blue. Dainhen takes me like, come on the show. This is all a purpose, a plan, and it's all of this is things that we speak of. When I tell you that the prayers that we have, last year we prayed for a van, and my mother ended up with a new job, and part of the requirement was to drive a van, and they decided to get a new van.
Worked out. So
she paid $1 for that van.
That's awesome.
Who shares this secret? Just you and your sister?
Just me and my sister.
Oh, okay.
But let me say this in the meantime, because I know you want to know what, the goal, that we do have some goals. I think the biggest thing, like I said in the beginning, was to reach families. I'm thinking about a lot of things that I heard that was shared today in the station. I'm thinking about, people who are locked up in prison away from their families. I'm thinking about mothers, dads who are in facilities. I'm thinking about kids who are in the facilities. I'm thinking about how we can get these families back together and keep them together, because there's a lot of societal things that are put on these families, stigmas stigmas that put on these families that make them separated and make them divided. And I think that if we can continue to get these families together, like I said, go in a house, if they have a house, or go and see what's really going on and keep them together.
All right. I got somebody for you who's doing something similar. You know, Keem has a program where he calls the family reunion when a young person comes back from prison, where he actually goes in and meets with the family. That's funny. Is what he calls it. And he actually goes in and basically helps restructure the family, because he's like, y'all can't be the same people y'all were when this young person left here.
You got to renew your mind.
They're coming in this house a totally different person. And so he goes in with a plan to help the family. So you guys
what do we call it? We call it a family reunion.
I like that.
Family reunion, because we're families, but we just need to renew our minds. We need to renew our strength. We need to renew our faith. We need to renew our paths.
We'll have to definitely connect. I think you guys have are different pieces to this puzzle, because he's going as a man. You bring the female component to it, and it's a great dynamic. Yes, what time are we doing? Because I keep talking here. This is my kind of stuff. I love it. Tell everybody how they can find you online, social media, if they want to support, again, give them that information.
Okay. www.ladiesinfulleffect.org or www.irepresentlife.com or you can find us. We have a Facebook page called Ladies in Full Effect Geek.
Don't y'all do something on YouTube too? Don't y'all got a little YouTube? Don't y'all do some things on
YouTube? We have a segment we call Ask God on YouTube, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the YouTube www.youtube.com/thelife205, and then also on Instagram and Twitter and all those other social media sites. So it's not hard to find us. You might even be able to Google.
Yeah, I watch all of
it. You can Google
beatboxing and singing and some everything.
Ladies in full effect. Ladies in full effect.
Awesome. Anything?
The ladies are taking over.
I love it. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We'll begin to close out the show with all of our guests. All right. You're live on the air with Regina Sunshine and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio.
This is crazy important.
In the mix. The biggest station in the world. Playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Don't go nowhere. The show.
Come on and bounce with me like this. Come on. Can you bounce with me? Choir, help me with this one. Jesus. He's the light of the world. Oh, Jesus. He's the light of the world. I came to tell you. He's the light of the world. He's the light all over the world. Jesus.
station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with your girl Regina Sunshine and Dainhen Butler here on the Get Your Sassy Back show on Instinct Radio. And before I forget, shout out to our station owner Jack Trey for working so hard to make us look good and giving us the opportunity to do what we love here on Instinct Radio.
Love my team.
Awesome, we love you too. Well, you know, we started a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, in and out the regular show like we do the men's show once a month, but just talking about maybe a topic of the day or something that's on our hearts. And I guess with the discussions I heard today, we kept hearing, especially when you guys at the end talked about having the families get together and talking about, you know, our returning citizens, those returning from incarceration, and the things that we can do to better support them. So that is my question for the day. What can we as a community or as individuals do to better assist our returning citizens?
From personal experience, family support, to say the foundation, because the individuals who are actually with the brothers or the women or the youth coming back, they're the person or the people who have been actually dealing with that individual's mind throughout the moment or the course of the incarceration. So where there was a physical separation, is the people who are dealing with them on a mental level, on a psychological or psycho-spiritual level, who they're going to be more closely jointed to or jointed with primarily. They're not going to be willing to open up to just anybody who is not in contact or has not been in contact with their minds or with our minds. So that's very important. Just to add on to that, be patient with them. They've been gone. They haven't been in domesticated situations. They're not, you know, their mechanical skills, their reaction or response to the things that are in their immediate spaces have been cells. It has been very sterile. They have not been attached to the materialisms. They've been disconnected from that. So give them a time to get readjusted and, you know, to resensitized, because prison thoroughly desensitizes you emotionally, because you're in a situation where you cannot allow yourself to feel. So I say to just be patient with them and, you know, respect their mental space and let them get reacclimated with the environment.
Yeah, I agree. I probably said much of the same, but I want to add to that. I think that forgiveness is important, and I think that comes with the patience too, and just understanding that what was in their past, for the most part, is in their past, and having a clean slate. But I think also setting them up with some resources in the community. I think that there has to be a transition period. So sort of like sometimes with prisons, they have like the halfway houses that typically do that. But if they're coming back home to family, have a transition period for them, something that they can set up with other resources. Maybe go to some other. I'm come from a counseling background. Like if there's a group or something like that they can join or be a part of, that they can continue to talk about their transition and experience, somebody who they can connect with, such as him who's had that experience as well, that can share what it's like on the other side.
I was thinking pick the whole time you were talking.
My incarceration collaborative will meet every second and third Thursday at Atlanta Technical College.
Oh, okay.
6:30 to 8.
You had to write that down, but okay.
Next.
I agree with both of them. I have a brother that's incarcerated that's doing a life sentence, so I try to keep him motivated while he's still in prison and tell him to keep his faith and keep his head up and know that he got a sister and family that's willing to fight with him and stay down with him, because he been in and out. So you just got to be a listening ear to them, because you never know what they're going through while they're in there, because he always in a hole or whatever. But just have their back and be there for them and be a listening ear for them and support them and love them and just keep God.
That's awesome.
And that's what I was going to say, is love on them. They need your love when they come back. They want to come back to something familiar, but be embraced a different way. I would say encourage them and give them credit for the changes that they have made, because all too often when they come home, it's too much pressure to not go back from where they came, that they fall back into the same norms because it's just too much for them to handle. So definitely encourage them and love on them.
Yes, and I agree with all of that, but I also believe in to help them find their purpose, because they don't know why they went through what they went through. They don't know why they grew. You don't know why you're dropped into the family you put in. We don't deal out our own cards. We get what we're dealt. And so I think that to find your purpose and to take what you have experienced in your life and put it to work, such as Dainhen. I mean, I was middle school or something like that when I knew Dainhen. I didn't really know Dainhen, but I knew of him. But I was a very focused child. I watched all of my friends. They were like cousins to me. All of your cousins were my friends, you know. And so I knew of Dainhen, and I saw them looking up to him. I saw, and so when they were looking up to him, of course, I'm watching this too, trying to see who this guy is too that everybody's looking up to. I didn't know where you came from. You just popped up in the neighborhood one day. But Stone Mountain, Stone Mountain. Woodridge. But but I see that, I knew what he went through. I felt his pain, even though I did not know him. All I knew was your first name. But I knew what he had gone through, and I felt that because I thought, something is wrong with this system. For him to have the mentality that he did at the time, where did it come from? Find out where this came from, but now turn around and use that to become who you are today. Use it. Instead of, because it can make you, it can break you. And so you have depression, you have a lot of battles that they have to, to go through. And so just teach them, find your purpose. Use what you have learned instead of trying to run away from it. And because you're changing your life doesn't mean that you have to block out the past. Use that. And even in Ladies in Full Effect, we have a motto that we like to say, let's get this thing called life together.
Awesome.
Because there's so many ways I can go with this. I'm gonna try to, keep it in perspective. But
mention the PIC meeting again.
I will mention the PIC meeting again. But you know what? They pay me to go off into the prison system now. Like a check. And the first time I went in, I was like, man, I just spent like a decade in this joint for nothing. Now you about to give me a check. I cashed the check. And I seen
I could have got paid to do this.
When I go in, they hire me to go in and I do assessments. And so what I have to do is I have to identify the high risk factors. I have to determine what's going to send you back to prison and what's going to keep you out. And one of the most, the key factors is the support system. Those individuals, because Georgia right now has the highest percentage of recidivism. Recidivism is the rate at which people return back to prison. The whole slavery mentality to the left for a minute. When an individual does not have any support, when they feel like they don't have hope, then they simply resort back to what it is that they're accustomed to.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, the system that we live in, we come from this is a slave state. And so when you take the individuals who have control over the education system, those same individuals have input on the prison population, you have that pipeline. And so I think that as a whole, we have to begin to educate ourselves. We have to understand, what are we up against? This is a business. It's not just change. We're not just bad. We're not just acting out. This is a big. This is a strategic plan.
Exactly. And
so just like anything else that it is that you're interacting with, whether it's exposing individuals to life, letting people know about something that's serious in life that, if you pay attention to it and you grab a hold onto it and you challenge, you take control of it. You do not allow it to take control of you.
Absolutely.
Just doing what it is that we do in our communities. We as a people, we have a different plan of action because we're educated. We know what's going on. When you take the term rehabilitated, that within itself is a contradiction of statement because to be rehabilitated means that I was able to be handled and to be a certain way. So I went through all this and now I'm rehabilitated. That means I'm still ignorant as hell. I'm still out here robbing these folks. You see what I'm saying? So the system within itself is a joke. We have to first understand that. But then once you get past that, then you begin to, get into the community. Because I find that if I'm not giving, if I'm not doing something for my people, if I put a certain amount of badness in the world, if I don't try to right that, if I don't put goodness into the world, then I can't look that guy into the mirror. And then when that becomes a problem, then the price of living go up. It's a totally different problem. So I think that we're all right, but we have to understand that this is, a part of keeping people out. And it's not just, you don't have to have somebody in your family. It's our community.
Yes.
Right. We are one. And once we start, because the people that y'all connect with, it's not just people that I know his cousin, no, you're going out, you're talking to our community, and that's the most important factor because a lot of times it's not even connecting with somebody that knows you, it's connecting with somebody that's just putting goodness in the world.
Well, with PIC, and I want you to mention that again. I remember the first PIC meeting I went to. I'm a natural talker, but I didn't say anything. If you remember, I said that I was quiet because I was so. It was so beautiful. The community that you have there of people who want to help or assist those who are either incarcerated or family members of those. Because I remember there's a father there. I don't know if you remember it. The first meeting I went to, there was a father there, and he talked about how he had one son who was in prison and one who had just come home, but they wouldn't listen to him because he had lived the same life they did. And Dana raised his hand. He said, "I'll talk to your sons. I'm in the same age group." And that's what that meeting was about. It was a community of people who said, "We'll do whatever we can individually to help each other." And I thought it was beautiful. I did.
But it's just like that in any environment, because it's like you don't have to go to prison to get help. Like it should be a life group at the AU Center. You see what I'm saying? We should be everywhere. We should be in every apartment complex in the world. You see what I'm saying? That's why I see certain things going. You see what I'm saying? I think that PIC, which is Persons Impacted by Incarceration Collaborative, they've given me an opportunity to reach out to different people. Like we just went into Phillips State Prison and we spoke to the lifers. But that's a hell of a motivational speech. You know what I mean? To talk to some people that are never getting out. But within that, I receive stories from these guys, and it's just like life is not just focused around people in prison and people getting out of it. It's society, the way that society is set up. Because you can't tell me that like you gonna make it rain and you gonna sell all these dope, you gonna kill all these people and take all these pills, and you ain't going to jail. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be conscious of what it is that we listen to, because what goes into it. If I listen to Young Thug for 8 hours a day, I take these headphones off, somebody gets slapped. It's just that. So I think that we have to take everything into consideration.
But you know what? There's another thing, like you said, that there is a slave mentality. I think that what we overlook sometimes is that there is a slave master mentality as well. So sometimes where we can't really point the finger at us all the time, because it's just, you know, our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, we were all broken apart. We were all split apart, you know, as slaves. So that's the family dynamic. We grow up and now fathers are not in the home. That's just the norm for our community. And so we also have to remember that there's a slave master mentality. That means that they were raised the way that they are. So we can't always charge things to people's heart. They don't know no better. It's like we didn't know no better. And it takes us, the ones who have our eyes, the blinders off and our eyes wide open to what's going on in the community, to go out there and help them take those blinders off, and not really try to fault the slave master mentality, but try to help. We got to help them too. We got to help them too, to see that we are not what you view us as, and we know that you are not what we view you as. You know, and that's what's happening with the police. The whole police mentality is going back to the sheriff and the whole hold down thing. You know, when you going around and see who can shoot first, it's going back to the Western. It's like Western style again. So.
It's 12:06.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. I've been absorbing all the energy. It's all valid, all relevant. I just want to add on to the relevance to say that we have to stop focusing just on the effects, and we have to look at the cause. Prison, crime, poverty, oppression, they're all symptoms of something deeper. Okay? And you're not going to fix it. We're not going to fix it until we focus on, identify and focus on, and then deal with the cause of the effects.
Absolutely.
If you're sick, you don't treat your symptoms. You have to find out the cause. Incarceration is an effect. We have to deal with, you cannot separate the crime or the criminal from the society that is producing the crime and the criminal. So you have to ask yourself, who's the real criminal?
Yeah. So I know this could go.
I know.
But we're gonna have to begin to wrap up, and you know, I'll say this. I mentioned off air. You know, I teach at a college in South Carolina, and I do a class called Math for the Trades. And most of the guys there, you know, welding, automotive, building and construction. But over half of those guys, when they come in, they are just out of prison. And the thing that I found that most of them need is, you know, somebody cares. And I found that they will stay behind after class, pretend they got a question about math. It ain't got nothing to do with math. They just want to know, will you talk to me? Do you care about me?
Exactly.
You know, and that's the thing that has made the difference. And when I first taught that class, I had teachers tell me, oh, you don't want that class. You don't want those guys. And I was like, well, no, I'm going to take the class. And one teacher said, well, when you go in there, make sure you're firm. You let them know who's the boss. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go in and be Regina Sunshine.
There you go.
I'm in school, be me. And when I tell you, when I drive up in the park lot, those guys are waiting outside to take my books to class. They fight who's taking me to my next class because I showed them that I cared about them and what was happening next. And that was all they needed. And I've seen these guys graduate and start businesses, and it's been such a beautiful thing to watch because I know where they started from. And the thing, and I have to give a shout out to Steve Coleman at Piedmont Technical College. He has a program called the Genesis Project. It's all about keeping African American males in school. He pays their tuition, books. He bought a $2 million grant to that school for our brothers, and he's doing amazing work there. And he's one of those hands on the ground, ground zero, doing a great work there. So shout out to Steve Coleman and the Genesis Project. But we could begin to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Before we go, be on the lookout for the book by Dainhen Butler. It is called If I Knew Then What I Know Now, a conscious effort to reduce prison population. And it is simply entries from individuals, whether it be parents, victims, children, anybody who's been affected by crime in whatever manner. Like what could you have, because at 14, I was like on some real ignorant stuff. So I just sit down and I just wrote a letter to myself. Look, it don't matter, because I had no Reeboks that had the polish on them. And then it rained one day and I was walking down the hallway and I left like a white track. So I started stealing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm writing to myself like, this is what you're about to encounter, and this is what you need to pipe down to. Because a lot of times, it takes us talking to ourselves in order to talk to those individuals who need to be exposed to it. Again, the title of their book is If I Knew Then What I Know Now, a conscious effort to reduce prison population. And it's just us writing entries to ourselves at a specific age. And the goal is to go to these schools, get with some of the kids in your program, and we're not charging for the book. We just want to get it to them, get them that information, because a lot of people, they don't know. They're basing their opinions, they're basing their actions off what an individual who is not really as authentic as they claim to be on the beats and rhymes. Like, you're not for real. You're not like, I got some people that'll help you find Jesus, y'all, like, for real. So my plan is to get people who have really gone there, and that I don't have counseling, so I can't tell you about it, but I can connect you with somebody who does. You see what I'm saying? And that's the whole goal. And I want it to be a series. I want it to be about, because it shouldn't just be about prison, because that's not all we are. We're teachers. We're philosophers. We do everything. Right. We radio owners. That's right. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, a lot of people don't do things because we simply don't have the knowledge to do so. So the goal is let's bridge the gap, man. Let's educate. Let's inform.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. All right, well, we thank you guys so much for tuning in. I leave you with the words I always leave you with. God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous, and you are worthy. Make sure you tune in next week, same time, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Well, it's the boss show, so 12 till whenever. Our guest next week, we have inspirational artist. The voice box will be here. Reggie Love from Love 860 AM, plus a part of the Rimshot Positive Arts Movement is going to be here. John Sanders from the state capitol is going to be here as well. And Tommy Bottoms. If y'all don't know, world-renowned poet Tommy Bottoms, he is going to be in the building, and we're so excited. And we're still booking a couple others. I can't say just who they are right now. But you guys, make sure you tune in then. And remember this, I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed, stay sassy, and keep winning.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. We're listening to Instinct Radio.